Number 1. The sky that rains animals. Picture this. You're walking to work, latte in hand, thinking about how you might fake your own death to avoid the Monday meeting. And then, splat, a fish lands right next to you. No, it's not sushi delivery gone horribly wrong. It's actually raining animals. This bizarre phenomenon has been reported all over the world, from raining frogs in Serbia to fish showers in Honduras. And the explanation is equal parts fascinating and ridiculous. Waterspouts. These are basically watery tornadoes that spin over lakes or oceans, sucking up anything unlucky enough to be nearby fish, frogs, small turtles, probably a very confused crab, and then flinging them out when the vortex loses steam. The animals don't fall from the clouds like a biblical plague. They were never up there chilling with the weather gods. They just got yeeted into the sky by nature's giant vacuum cleaner, and then gravity did its thing. And before you ask, yes, some of them survive. Which means some poor guy in a rural town probably went outside, looked up, and said, guess we're having fish for dinner. Basically, Mother Nature occasionally forgets she's not running a slapstick comedy show. And this is the punchline. Number 2. The light beams from heaven. You know those dramatic sunbeams breaking through clouds that make you feel like you should hear a choir going, eh? They're called crepuscular rays. And spoiler alert, they're not proof you're the chosen one. These rays happen when sunlight passes through gaps in clouds or between mountains, scattering in the atmosphere. Your eyes perceive the beams as fanning out, like God's own spotlight show. But they're actually parallel lines of light. Think runway lights for angels. The drama is all thanks to perspective. The same reason train tracks look like they meet in the distance. And while they look divine, they're just physics, doing a cosplay of heaven. So next time you see them, you can either enjoy the beauty or ruin the moment by yelling, "Nice Rayleigh scattering atmosphere," out loud. Both are valid life choices. Number 3. The giant hole punched in the clouds. You're looking up at a perfectly normal, fluffy cloud bank, and then bam, there's a gaping circular hole in the middle, like someone took a cookie cutter to the sky. No, it's not aliens. No, the government isn't testing weather lasers. These are fall streak holes. And they happen when the water droplets in clouds are supercooled, meaning they're below freezing, but still liquid. When a disturbance, like an airplane passing through, triggers them to freeze suddenly, ice crystals form. This causes the surrounding droplets to evaporate, leaving behind a big, creepy hole. It's like cloud acne, but on a massive scale. Pilots can accidentally create these holes, which means somewhere out there is a guy who just wanted to get to Chicago and ended up making thousands of conspiracy theorists lose their minds. Number 4. The desert that sings its own doom. Imagine walking alone through a vast, empty desert. The air is dry. The horizon shimmers. And then out of nowhere, the ground starts humming. Not just a faint noise, but a deep, vibrating boom that feels like it's coming from the Earth's throat. Congratulations, you've found a singing sand dune. These dunes are basically giant natural speakers. When millions of sand grains, all the same size and shape, tumble down the slope together, they rub and bounce against each other in perfect unison. The friction creates sound waves that get amplified by the dune's shape, turning the whole place into a subwoofer big enough to rattle your bones. The pitch depends on the size of the grains. Bigger grains, lower notes. So some dunes might sound like a baritone monk chanting in slow motion, while others squeal like a broken saxophone. Marco Polo once described it as the weirdest concert you'll ever attend, except the band is dirt. Scientists think this happened during ancient trade routes and spooked travelers so badly they thought demons lived in the sand. So yeah, deserts can literally sing, which is both magical and a little unsettling. It's like the Earth's way of saying, "You've wandered too far, buddy." It's like cloud acne, but on a massive scale. Pilots can accidentally create these holes, which means somewhere out there is a guy who just wanted to get to Chicago and ended up making thousands of conspiracy theorists lose their minds. Number 5. The day it rained blood. Nothing says good morning quite like looking out your window and realizing the rain is red. Yes, blood rain is a real thing. And no, it's not because the apocalypse RSVP'd early. It usually happens when strong winds pick up red dust or sand, most famously from the Sahara Desert, and carry it high into the atmosphere. When rain clouds form, the water mixes with the dust, and suddenly it looks like the sky is reenacting a horror movie. The most famous case was in Kerala, India, in 2001. Locals were understandably freaking out, because if the clouds are bleeding, something is very wrong. Early rumors blamed everything from aliens to God to exploding meteors. But after actual analysis, scientists found it was just dust mixed with rain, kind of like if Mother Nature spilled paprika into her cloud soup. So while it's not an omen of doom, it is a great way to ruin white laundry. Number 6. The forest that flashes in unison. You're in a dense forest at night, and suddenly, like someone flicked a switch, thousands of fireflies start flashing at the exact same time. Not randomly, not in small groups, all at once. This happens in certain parts of the world, like Southeast Asia and the Great Smoky Mountains in the US, where specific firefly species have evolved synchronized flashing. It's basically a giant insect rave. The males are trying to attract females, and by flashing in unison, they create an irresistible "look at us" billboard in the dark. Scientists think it's part of sexual selection if you're a female firefly. The guy who can keep perfect rhythm is probably in great shape. It's also easier to stand out when your whole squad is showing off at the same time. And no, scientists still haven't figured out exactly how they sync up, but it's likely some combination of visual cues and biology. Number 7. The eerie glow. Before an earthquake. You're outside at night when you notice something strange. Patches of the sky glowing faintly blue or green, like an alien rave just kicked off in the clouds. Minutes or hours later, the ground shakes. You just witnessed earthquake lights. These rare glows have been reported for centuries, often right before major quakes. For a long time, people dismissed them as myths, ghost stories, or someone having one too many mushrooms. But science has a possible explanation. Stress in the Earth's crust. When tectonic plates grind and shift, they can generate electrical charges in certain rocks, like quartz. These charges can escape to the surface, ionizing the air and creating faint, eerie light. The glow can take different forms: floating orbs, sheet-like illuminations, or flickering bursts. Sometimes they appear directly above fault lines, other times miles away. Imagine streetlights in the sky, with no poles, just hanging there. So if you ever see the heavens glowing for no reason, it's probably not angels, UFOs, or your eyesight failing. It's the Earth stretching before it throws a tantrum. Number 8. The ocean that glows electric blue. You're walking along the beach at night, and the waves look like they've been dipped in neon paint. Every splash, every ripple, glows electric blue, like the ocean just signed a sponsorship deal with Tron. This is bioluminescence, and it's one of nature's greatest flexes. The glow comes from microscopic organisms, often dinoflagellates, that emit light when disturbed. It's basically their version of a car alarm. Hey, something's touching me. Only instead of a loud, annoying sound, they throw a light party. The science behind it is chemistry luciferin reacting with oxygen, catalyzed by luciferase, but the effect is pure magic. Entire shorelines can shimmer. Waves look like molten sapphires, and your footsteps in the sand leave glowing trails. In some rare cases, even dolphins swimming nearby look like glowing rockets. Sure, it's beautiful, but it's also a reminder that the ocean is full of microscopic drama queens willing to put on a laser show just because you poke them. Number 9. The Glaciers' army of ice spikes. You're hiking through a frozen landscape and stumble across what looks like a field of jagged ice spears sticking straight up. No, you haven't found the set of Game of Thrones. These are penitentes' tall, thin blades of hardened snow or ice that form in high-altitude regions. They happen when sunlight melts snow unevenly. Instead of melting flat, certain spots reflect and focus sunlight, deepening the gaps and leaving sharp peaks behind. Over time, the spikes can grow several meters tall, creating an icy army just waiting for someone to trip over them. The name penitentes comes from their resemblance to groups of monks in white robes performing penance. But, let's be real, they look more like the frozen teeth of a giant that just bit into the earth. And yes, climbing through them is a nightmare. It's like navigating a field of frozen knives, except colder, sharper, and with a much higher chance of stabbing your expensive, puffy jacket.